share with, again, our listeners, what is the biggest way an entrepreneur can spend less time marketing their business online?
Okay, so this is something I'm super passionate about. I say that most of us are CEOs. We're chief executive officers, but we're also chief everything officers, right?
Oh, gosh. Totally.
So if we don't have a wonderful partner like Richard or Cheri, we are often doing it all ourselves. And we only have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, just like everyone else. So it's really, really important for us to strategically use our time so we can do as much as we can effectively and efficiently. So what I'm really passionate about when it comes to spending less time online is actually knowing what you're doing. So I know you might have been expecting, or somebody listening might have been expecting me to say, oh, schedule your posts or automate this or that. But I think it's a long game. You need to know what it is that you're doing, what you're striving for. And when you have direction with what you're doing with your online marketing, in the end, you're making, like you said, a bigger impact. So once you start making a bigger impact, that ball starts rolling, you're able to spend less time while still building your following and growing your leads. So I think that the biggest way to spend less time online is to just have focus when you're doing it, not just shoot in the dark. Does that make sense?
Oh, most definitely. And I do believe that so many individuals, just they don't think of the intention. They just think, I'm supposed to be online. I'm supposed to be on Facebook. I'm supposed to have a website. Now they're telling me I have to do email marketing, and they don't focus or know exactly what objective they have. They just know they're supposed to do it. So they don't know what they're doing. They just know that they're supposed to be doing it.
Right. And I don't blame them either, especially because marketing isn't what they went into business for in the first place. Just like I didn't go into business to do bookkeeping or accounting.
That's so true.
And I think that we all have an expertise that's to be respected, but we can't all do it alone in business. So it's great that they even know to begin with that this is what you're quote unquote supposed to do, because that means they have knowledge. But every entrepreneur, every business has its own history and goals. It's completely unique. So there is not a one size fits all.
No, exactly. I know that we both think the same way. We help customize their strategy because it, like you just said, there's no one size that fits all. Even if it's a like-minded business, they may have, they most likely have different objectives. They also have different ways of doing things. So it is customized. Everything, I know your training is, my training is, it has to be customized for the individual. So they get the best.
Absolutely.
They get the best efforts.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, while they may have heard from somebody that, oh, you must be on Instagram. Well, if they don't even have the time to be on Instagram, well, then that shouldn't be in their strategy. Because then if they're posting once in a while and they're not being very effective with it, they're not getting any results in marketing their business. So it's good to have a good start with knowing, quote unquote, what you're supposed to do. That'll give you guidance into really researching and seeing what's right for your business. I'm sure you run into the situation many times when a potential customer or client talks to you. They probably they believe, like you just kind of mentioned, they need to be on every platform, but yet they don't have time to even do one right now. So they try to be everywhere, most definitely. So what is, when someone asks if they need to be on all the sites, how do you explain that to them? Or what do you say to them? So I think if time, money, and resources were unlimited to them, then they probably could really benefit from being on all platforms. They could have this really robust strategy that ties together almost every social media platform, a really robust email marketing campaign, website, and so on. But who has unlimited resources, right?
Yeah, I love it. But I don't think there are very many entrepreneurs that are really, especially startups, that have that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really, again, important to stay focused. So say you are a startup, like a tech startup, you could really benefit from being on Twitter and Facebook, but if you don't have the manpower or resources to effectively run every area of your business and market on both, then just go to Twitter. It's okay to just do one not social media tactic, one online marketing tactic. Get really good at that and then expand. Does that answer your question?
Oh, most definitely.
I get excited and I just start rambling. And I'm
you're not rambling. You're making sense. Perfect sense.
But here's what it is.
Okay, good.
It's expressing your passion, and that's what people want. Is if they're going to hire a consultant, a web developer, a coach, or whatever, they want to know that you are as passionate about what you're going to teach them as they are passionate about what they want to learn. So it all comes together, and that's how the match is made. So please don't ever cut that back. It's great.
Of course, I love it. And when I first, and this is kind of going on a tangent, but when I first started my business, I thought there were two options. I could either be an agency with an office and employees, or I could be a freelancer. But as I started delving into this world of entrepreneurship and coaching and kind of just more unique online businesses, I realized I could just run around and gush about what I love to do, and I could meet with other people who are so passionate about what they do. A lot of times when I'm speaking with a prospect, we barely even talk about what their online marketing needs are. I just want to listen to them talk about what it is they love to do. This is an amazing world that we're in. It's incredible.
Well, talking about that, what are some of the common mistakes that you really see entrepreneurs make as they're trying to, start a business or grow their business?
When they're starting their business or grow their business. So something I've noticed myself is that they're unbalanced or imbalanced in how they spend their time. So there's a lot of different things we need to do. We need to prospect. We need to do sales, our marketing, our admin work, develop those products and services, and deliver them as well. So what I've noticed with the entrepreneurs I work with, that a lot of times they'll get excited with one of those categories of activities, and everything else will fall to the side. So, for example, actually, for the first several months of my business, I loved marketing myself, and I would go to networking events, but I wasn't doing sales. I wasn't picking up the phone and calling anybody and selling my services. I would only really sell to people when they'd come up and go, "You do social media or web design, right?" So as a result, my business didn't really grow at all in the first several months. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see. And then in terms of, and by the way, before I move from that, I wanted to say it's just simply a skill or a muscle that's that you're learning. Because in my experience, most entrepreneurs like us didn't go to business or didn't go to school to learn about online business. So it's a huge learning curve. It's a huge learning opportunity for all of us. So I like the word mistake. I'm kind of torn on that word because the word mistake has a negative connotation to it, but I don't really, and I think it's the right word to use in this case, but I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a learning opportunity.
I totally agree with that. It's we can get so caught up in sharing our business, especially if you join a chamber of commerce, for example, and you start going to all the different events and you start meeting new people. Then you get into a leads group or a referral group and you're meeting with them and you're doing the one-on-ones. You can build those relationships, which all are very, very important. But you hit the nail on the head. You also at time need to be focused on learning how to ask for the sale or ask for referrals. And that is, I believe, one mistake that I have witnessed myself do, as well as others when they first get involved in different organizations. They're told you have to come to every event, you have to get involved, or it's not you're not going to be able to meet people, and joining won't have any effect for you. So you really have to, as I love the word you use, try to get rid of that imbalance and balance yourself and start blocking out time for networking as well as the selling or the follow-ups so that you are starting to ask. That I would agree that is a mistake, and I think that word is okay to use in this because it's just about education that they need to understand more on that.
I mean, a mistake at any level, whether you're a rookie just starting something out or you've been doing it for 40 years, a mistake is just nothing more than a learning opportunity when it comes down to it.
So it's just learning on some time management so they can really put that focus, as you mentioned earlier, on their marketing efforts and then taking those marketing efforts and tapping into where they can actually sell their services.
Right, right. I have to say I am a completely different person now than I was 2 years ago because of all of the mistakes that I made when I first started my business. It's a huge learning opportunity, this journey that we're all on.
Oh, we're ever growing. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I always say that social media or online marketing is still in its infancy. It's ever evolving, and we have to be ever growing, especially those of us that are in this industry, so that we can stay on top of all these curves that are happening so we can then better service those that are really looking for the knowledge we have to share.
Yes, yes.
Richard?
How does social media play into the web experience that we're talking about right now? You were talking about we need visitors to the website. Is social media that can do that, or can it generate sales by itself, or how does all that come together?
Okay, well, one of the things that I see entrepreneurs do wrong, and I touched on it at the beginning, was not, and I promise this is answering your question, I'm just taking a long way there.
That's fine.
Is the lack of focus. You have to think about your whole online marketing strategy. So the reason why I didn't go into business to be just a web designer or just an email marketer, search engine optimizer, is because there are many online marketing tactics, and each serves its own purpose in where it falls in your funnel. So in my eyes, there are three basic stages: found first, then turning your viewers into followers, then converting the followers into paying customers or paying clients. There isn't one marketing tactic that can do it all effectively and efficiently.
Okay.
When you're thinking,
can you repeat those? Can you repeat those three one more? I heard you kind of cut out one when you first started. So just repeat those three again, please.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So the three stages of online marketing is first getting found, then turning those viewers into followers, then converting them into paying customers. So if you think about it, could you hear me that time?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
So if you think about it like in sales, when they just find you, they're completely cold traffic. They're not likely to purchase from you. They want, especially if you're offering a service that's more high end, it's an investment. It's not like $2-3 like an app on the App Store. It's something that they need to consider. They need to know, like, and trust you, right? So with social media, where I see that fall is more towards the beginning of that whole funnel. It's how people first it's one of the ways people can first find you. It's to nurture your followers and develop that relationship with them as well. So I would say that that's not the strongest way to make sales directly off of your social media channel. However, it's not impossible. Depending on the quality of your followers and where they are in your marketing funnel, they may be very, very receptive to sales. Like if they are mostly clients or prospects, then of course they'll be open to hearing you. But if there are people who are there for educational purposes or they've just gotten to know you, you need to nurture them in other ways. So, like I said earlier, no business is the same, so this may not fit for everyone, but you may have your social media channel and then you funnel them to your blog where you have a free download, where they sign up with their name and email, and then you get their email address, and now they're in your email marketing funnel. You nurture them there, and then you may make the ask there, or have a webinar and make the ask there, and so on.